Thanks for joining me. My name is Jerrel. I develop games for a living, and this is my latest game. The hero of destiny was killed by the final boss. In this video, we are going to explain the battle system and give a quick rundown on some of the characters that you will be able to use. Every character that you can speak to in this game can be recruited to your party. You can have up to 8 characters, and each character has a unique set of weapons and skills. You can see if you try to recruit a 9th member, you won't be able to, so there's not enough for a Lord of the Rings remake here. Let's go ahead and quickly step out into the overworld area here. One of my favorite styles of games is JRPGs, so I love the idea of being able to go into towns and explore. But in this game, this is the final town. This is the final area of the game, and there's just the one final dungeon for you. There are a couple shrines that you can explore, solve some puzzles, and you can gain some power-ups to help close the skill gap. Basically, what's going on here is that this is the final area of the game. All the enemies will just overpower you, and you won't have much of a chance, but you can level up your characters to some degree here. This area here with the slimes is specifically set up so that even though your characters start out at level 0 and they are extremely weak, you can still defeat some enemies, gain some experience points, and start closing the power gap between you and the endgame dungeon. So every character has different weapons. You can use either weapon by pressing the B button on the Switch or Y. You can see that the character that is in the lead right now, the historian character, can use a book or a stick. So he can access 2 different weapons, but the other characters can only access their primary weapon. By pressing the X button, you can switch your characters. Now I am controlling the geologist directly. I can throw a projectile, and this is a unique weapon for this character, throwing 3 pebbles or a pickaxe. And the pickaxe, of course, deals more damage, but the triple pebble, the pebble times 3, allows the character to attack from a distance. You can see it's only doing 2 damage. Let's see how much that pickaxe does. It did about 10 damage there. Enemies also have an armor, a hidden armor value, and when you use certain weapons, they decrease the enemy's armor. Once the armor is depleted, they become flinched, and you will be able to knock them back. As you see, that flash effect there and some slowdown lets you know that you have flinched the enemy. That is the opportunity to rush down. You don't have to play defensively at that point. You can flinch them and knock them back with your attacks once their armor has been broken, but that state only lasts a few seconds. So once you see that, that's your chance to go in and try to finish the enemy with your close range attacks. So I'm taking a lot of damage here, as you can see. This has been quite a difficult encounter so far, as I won't be able to continue at this rate. Luckily, the innkeeper is able to heal the team members. It's not a huge amount of health. It's just enough to help keep you alive long term a little bit, but it's certainly not enough to continue a kind of hurt and heal pattern that is typical of video games, where we think, oh, I'll hit the enemy and then I'll heal. That is not something that can really be done in this game, because we don't really have powerful healing items. We don't have powerful healing magic. This is incremental, and it's just a long-term, a slower solution, but it can help. But there are other characters who can heal, and they have other properties to that, so we can cover that at another time. By holding down the attack button, you can have your characters stay locked in one direction. That allows you to strafe, walk in reverse, and the movement speed is consistent regardless of the direction that you are facing. This, to me, feels really satisfying, being able to control a whole party of characters like this. Ideally, you would want to put your characters with good melee weapons up the front, and you would want to put some long-range characters in the back, so I leave that up to you to explore and experiment with different party setups. So I'm having a tough time with these enemies here. You can see once you engage with an enemy, you will be able to lock onto them. So I will open up the skill menu now, and this skill menu is how you close the power gap with the enemies. Once you have engaged with an enemy, you will automatically lock onto them, and any attack that you select from here will lock onto the enemy. You can see that the character turned around and faced the enemy. The historian will have him throw the wisdom hoop, and you can see on hit, the wisdom hoop will slow down the enemies, but it will also prevent them from using special attacks for a short while. Now, I want to try to use my other abilities to deal with this. I'll have the innkeeper use rock throw. You'll see him turn around and throw a rock, so that knocks the enemy back, but it also deals a fair amount of damage. Now, these are NPCs. They don't have access to any kind of magic, so they will have to rely on sticks. I'll have the delivery man throw another stick. You can see my character movement is a little bit slow because there are options for you to speed up your characters. You can use the singer's ability. You can see the enemies are really chasing me down here, so I'll go ahead and use Soothing Song. And you can see that will slow the enemies right down. It makes it a lot easier for me to maneuver around the enemies. I'll go ahead and rock throw, and you can see I can now deal with the enemies at my own pace. I have Beast Release here. That will help. You can see that the Beast is now chasing down the enemies, and it's dealing damage. It's only 2 damage. It's not that much, but you can make your summons stronger. There is a way to increase their power, and you can find that in town. You can use certain abilities to help keep you alive. For example, I need to heal first. We have Dirt Throw, and this reduces the enemy's power by 6 for 16 seconds. Let's go ahead and use that, and then this is Beast Calm, and you'll see that when we use this, that enemy is no longer able to damage us on contact, but the other one was not in range. Range is very important as well, and as you use your skills, you will learn what the ranges are. I will go ahead and throw some dirt, and that will reduce the enemy's power as well, so they do less damage on contact. Let's go ahead and slow down these enemies again. I can help explain how all this works a bit more easily. I'll throw another rock at that guy, 29 damage. Now this is an extremely useful ability. The delivery man is able to use Hurry Up, and this reduces the cooldown meters. If we take a look at the cooldown meters for the rest of the party, as I use this, you'll see that their meters decreased significantly. So that is an extremely important ability to keep in mind. There are a number of characters that have Hurry Up, and so if you would like to build a team around that, then you certainly may, and you can really spam some very useful abilities by relying on Hurry Up. See, I was able to close the gap and deal with those enemies just then. Let's see. I've lost my historian, and in this game there's permadeath, so if you lose a character, they are gone. You won't be able to use that character anymore. However, if you don't like permadeath, you can go to the options and turn permadeath off. So that way, when a character is defeated, instead of permanently leaving the party, instead of permadeath, the character will just return to the town and you can recruit them again. There is no way to revive the characters, there is no magic, there is no item, because these are NPCs and they have no idea how to do that. They don't know how to use magic, they don't really know what to do with these weird items. If you would like to have your characters rest, you can check the bed here and you can refill your health. If you want to clear your party, you can check this red book here, this sign-in book, and you can remove all the members from your party so you can try again. Now, if we take a look here, and I'll cover this at length later on as well, the weapon types have different properties. So a bell can briefly prevent enemies from using projectile attacks. Books can prevent enemies from using special attacks, which is what the Wisdom Hoop does. The ribbon type of weapon can briefly prevent enemies from using grabbing attacks, and there are enemies that can grab and they can really ruin your day. the hoops. The hoop is a type of weapon. It can briefly reduce enemy movement speed, which is very useful. And the shepherd's staff briefly reduces enemy power. So that is important to consider. I don't have any armor on these characters, and it's so important that you go and find some. Now, these characters say they don't really have armor, they have clothes here. So you can wear the clothes, they all have different effects, but you can see that when you have the character wearing clothes, their stats do increase. Now everyone has a power of 2, defense of 2, but I've equipped the cloth tunic, and now the first character has power of 5 and defense 3. And you can just go ahead and switch to your next character using the X button and equip more clothes. There are quite a few different pieces of clothing that you can wear, and they all do different things, so it really depends on how you want to set up that character, what the loadout is for that character, and how you want to build a team around a particular strategy. So with the flower dress, that allows me to walk faster. You'll see as I swap out, I move a little bit slower, so the flower dress is really good if you would like a speed build, or if you want to be able to travel just a little faster. Most of the equipment that you can find will be here in town, and that's just so you have an organized and focused place to access all of your equipment. Another piece of armor here, which is extremely useful. This is one of my favorites to use, especially for your frontline characters if they are going to be leading. These are the adult pants. It increases power and defense, but reduces the movement speed. So we can go ahead and do that. I did a lot of testing using the accountant character. Now the accountant character has an ability that increases the party movement speed, which is extremely useful, and it really helps with mobility. It can keep you alive during fights because you're able to avoid taking hits from enemies. So let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the skills that we have on our party here. We have Dirt Throw, which reduces the enemy power by 6 for 16 seconds, which is a goodly sum of time. And the farmer can also use Pesticide, and that inflicts poison. Let's go ahead and give that a try. Now, the poison status ignores the enemy defense, and there are certain enemies that just have quite high defense. Especially in the final dungeon area, the enemies tend to get stronger and stronger. So I set this little area up here so you can quickly level up and just practice your characters, especially if you've never used them before. So let's go ahead and slow down the enemies with our soothing song. I'll line this up, I'll aim it properly, and I will use Pesticide. And for 14 seconds, oh, I only hit one of them. If this was not the lead character, then he would have auto-aimed, but because it's the lead character, he didn't turn to face. So you can see it's constantly dealing 4 damage there. Let's see. These characters are close by. I'll do the Boulder Buster, and I missed. It's better to have lead characters use those lead attacks, those big attacks, the melee ones, because the enemies tend to move pretty fast here. And it's better to use something like Soothing Song to slow down the enemies before you try to use those melee attacks, because again, they are quite slow. Go ahead and throw a Wisdom Hoop at him, and you can use that to space him out. He'll end up trying to walk through it, and it will slow him down. I'll go ahead and Dirt Throw, and that will reduce his attack power. We can see that we have Beast Calm. Let's go ahead and Beast Calm him. And you can see now that he isn't able to deal damage to me anymore. So I'll go ahead and switch to the Geologist. I'll put the Geologist in front, and I would really like the enemy to not be able to destroy me before I can get this move out. So I use Beast Calm to calm him. He's lined up, and now I use Boulder Buster, and I'll hit him with a big 55. And that's a pretty big difference between the 2 damage that throwing that pebble does. So you can see that there are some abilities that are quite powerful and useful, but you don't just get to spam them and throw them out. There is a degree of strategy that you must use when it comes to spacing and timing And something like this, to me, I think is very satisfying and fun because you cannot just mash buttons to win. There's a degree of responding to every situation in order to make the best use of your abilities, because again, these abilities are not great, they're not the best in the world, these are not heroes. These characters are just using whatever abilities they have for doing their jobs, you know? And I think something like this is interesting and satisfying, and that there is a risk to using any of these abilities because things will make you vulnerable. You know, the cooldown meter has an opportunity cost. Every character only has the 2 abilities, and if you use one, it means you don't get to use the other. Before we check out here, I'll just go ahead and I'll run along here and we'll find a couple different enemy types to look at, since we've only just had a brief look at the starting slime here. Again, these slimes are set up to be fodder, so you have an opportunity to level up your characters. There is a field here where enemies throw magic balls at you. Those are projectiles, and I can discuss that at another time. Now we have an enemy that just came out of the trees here, and this one is quite different from the other ones. That one has a big area of effect attack, and he can really, really do some damage here. So I want to just heal, and this is now difficult because this enemy has more health than other enemies. He's doing significantly more damage, but I have the Historian here. Now the Historian doesn't really have very good abilities, but he has 2 here that are quite useful. Befuddle, he stops an enemy from throwing projectiles, or Wisdom Hoop. And if you hit him with the Wisdom Hoop, I wasn't able to aim that in the right direction because the slimes had distracted me. But if you hit him with the Wisdom Hoop, it stops him from using his special attacks for a while. There are also other characters that are able to stop enemies permanently from using their special attacks. And one of those abilities is called Astrologize, and the Astronomer has Astrologize, and if you use that ability, then the enemy will not be able to use their special attack at all anymore. This Wisdom Hoop only works for 6 seconds, but it stays on the field and it also deals damage, so it's balanced out a bit, and that way you can work around the spacing and you can try to force the enemy to walk through it again. See how timing is so important right now? I'm going to use my Hurry Up skill, and then I'm going to try to get that Wisdom Hoop out another time. There we go, just like that, and that will slow the enemies down on contact, and now it stops that enemy from using his special attack, but again it lasts 6 seconds. So you can see there's a fair bit of strategy when it comes to timing and spacing and dealing with enemy types a very particular way. I should have paid a little more close attention to the battle, but as you can see, upon defeat I'll be returned to town, and what happens is the entire party will leave when you are defeated, and you will have to just go and recruit them again. If you have permadeath turned off, then you can recruit them again. If permadeath is not turned off, those characters are gone forever, and you're going to have to grab another one of the 50 characters here in town and try and make it through the final dungeon. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today and for listening to the explanation about the battle system. I hope you are looking forward to the game. I will make an announcement when the Steam and Switch eShop pages are up and ready to view. Thanks very much. Take care. Have a great day.